Footage just leaked online, allegedly showing Offset getting jumped.
Leaked footage recently surfaced online, causing a storm across social media. While the video itself sparked immediate reactions, the story behind it is far more intricate than a single moment captured on camera. At its core lies a long-standing tension, a quiet rivalry that traces back years to an incident inside a major music studio, a situation that escalated after a high-stakes dice game went terribly wrong. Since then, rumors have swirled about betrayals, disputes over money, and a simmering conflict that few people outside the scene fully understand. Tonight, we dive deep into the backstory, the rising tension, and the pivotal events that shaped one of the most talked-about feuds in Atlanta's music scene. The clip that's been circulating shows a chaotic scene, with someone being confronted in a parking lot. While the footage itself is blurry and hard to make out, its viral spread has fueled countless debates. Some insist it shows one particular artist being attacked, while others argue it's entirely misleading. The truth is, the video's content, no matter who it depicts, represents only a small piece of a much larger puzzle, one built on years of industry politics, personal grievances, and competitive rivalries. Big names were dominating charts, studio sessions were happening non-stop, and alliances were as strategic as they were fragile. On the surface, everything seemed collaborative, with artists and label executives working together toward shared goals. But beneath the surface, tensions were quietly growing. Contract disputes, concerns about loyalty, and competition for control of creative output were brewing behind closed doors. What appeared to be friendship and mutual respect often masked a much more complicated reality. One of the key flashpoints involved a dice game in the studio, an event that seemed harmless at first but quickly escalated. A disagreement over money led to confrontations, with tempers flaring and lines being crossed. In these moments, long-standing frustrations surfaced, frustrations over contracts, earnings, and perceived slights. The altercation wasn't just about a single disagreement, it reflected years of unresolved tension and the pressure of navigating a highly competitive environment. Witnesses recall the scene growing increasingly heated, with verbal disputes nearly becoming physical. The outcome of that night left a mark on everyone involved, changing relationships and creating new divides. Adding to the complexity,
the issues with Offset and QC started a long time ago. So Offset had a problem with QC. From what I was hearing, he felt like they picked sides a little bit, or they were protective of Lil Baby. Offset, obviously in the Migos, you know, they were cash cows of QC for a long time, but then comes Lil Baby and 4PF. Offset had an issue with Baby.
These disputes were further amplified by the web of loyalty surrounding the artists. When a conflict arises with one individual in a tightly knit group, it can affect everyone connected. As a result, the repercussions of the dice game extended far beyond the studio that night. Tensions lingered, subtle resentments developed, and every interaction in the subsequent months carried the weight of
the music shit for my fans and my people, man. Feed my kids, man. And you know, sometimes people don't want you to sprout and grow, you know what I mean? And be a boss and own yourself. You know what I'm saying?
That unresolved moment. This simmering conflict set the stage for a series of events that would capture public attention years later. Months later, as rumors began circulating about confrontations outside the studio, social media became a magnifying glass. A blurry video of a parking lot incident went viral, with audiences dissecting every frame.
I believe the dice game. Offset wasn't going for it. He went outside. We two dug out a bunch of money in both his pockets. You know, he got skinny jeans on, so both out his pockets. Offset didn't take too kind him walking away from the dice game when it was Offset dice. He was getting 20,000.
For clues. While it was impossible to confirm the identities of those involved, the combination of the footage and the public's familiarity with prior tensions led to a widespread belief that the incident represented a significant escalation. In this way, perception became reality. Even with limited evidence, the story took on a life of its own. Social media amplified every detail, intentional or not, turning speculation into widely accepted truth. Around the same time, subtle signals in the digital space added fuel to the fire. Public actions, like artists unfollowing one another on social media, were interpreted as confirmation of deeper rifts. For fans and observers,
but when we got there, Offset was like 25,000 in the Doug pockets. By the time I come back 30, 45 minutes later, Doug is 25,000 in Offset's pockets. Now it's Offset's dice, right? And he said 1,000 a shot, 5,000. Doug said running, Offset hit 7. Nigga, let's go another 5. He hit again. 11. He 10 back. He only got about 10, 15 of his money on the ground.
These gestures became symbolic, a modern form of declaring conflict. Analysts, commentators, and followers pieced together old incidents, past disagreements, and new content to create narratives that felt complete, even if the full story remained hidden. The online conversation transformed a private conflict into a highly public saga. While the involved artists publicly denied many of the rumors, their statements
Picks his money up and walks away. So Offset was caught in disbelief that he was caught still down with the dice. He's looking around and like, did this motherfucker just grab the money off the floor? Offset jumps up and trails behind him. Offset walks right up and Doug's walking away from him, grabs his left pocket. His money bulging out of it. He didn't take the money out of his pocket, right? I don't know if he was attempting to take it or he was just trying to turn him around or what it was. Nevertheless, Doug ends up turning around. When he turned around, Offset fired.
In the face.
Right in the face.
had little impact on the overall narrative. In the fast-moving world of social media, once a story gains traction, attempts to counter it often fall short. People cling to the version that fits existing suspicions or seems more entertaining, and the original denials fade into background noise. Over time, the combination of ambiguous footage, past grievances, and public gestures made it nearly impossible to separate fact from speculation. The incident, whatever the reality, became part of the collective memory of the city's music scene. Meanwhile, both artists continued to focus on their careers, each building their brands, signing talent, and expanding their influence. Yet the unresolved tension remained palpable. Collaborations ceased, public appearances together stopped, and every interaction was scrutinized for signs of reconciliation or continued discord. Over the years, this distance became a defining element of their relationship, with fans interpreting every move as a potential message or confirmation of ongoing issues. The story lived on quietly, lurking in the background and resurfacing whenever related content appeared online. Years later, subtle references in new music reignited discussions. Lyrics hinting at past disputes were dissected line by fans and commentators, reigniting curiosity and speculation. Without naming names, the content alluded to events familiar to those following the saga, creating a link between past incidents and present-day creative output. The narrative, once dormant, regained life and relevance, demonstrating how stories in the music world can evolve and persist across time. Ultimately, the saga highlights the power of perception in the age of social media. The actual events, while important, are often overshadowed by how they are interpreted and shared online. Public opinion can shape reputations, and rumors can become ingrained in cultural memory even without definitive proof. What started as a private dispute over a game and personal tensions transformed into a narrative with global reach, illustrating the blurred line between reality and perception in modern entertainment. The lesson is clear: in today's world, what people believe can be just as impactful as what actually happened. And so, the story remains alive. Every resurfaced clip, every subtle lyric, every digital interaction keeps it in the public consciousness. It serves as a reminder of how quickly private conflicts can become public legend, how narratives are built, and how reputation is shaped far beyond the control of those directly involved. For fans, the intrigue continues. For the artists, the history is real. And for the music scene at large, this tale has become part of the folklore, a complex, layered story of tension, loyalty, perception, and the ever-evolving world of hip-hop.